What's happening, guys? Kevin here from SportsBoxBreaks.com, coming at you live Tuesday, March 28th, 2023. Breaking another case of 2022 Topps Chrome Update Baseball. This is Choose Team Case Break number 7. Who has who in the break? Diamondbacks going to Sean K. The Braves going to Dan B. The Orioles for Alan K. Red Sox, Tommy K. What do we got? Cubbies going to Dustin L. The White Sox and the Reds going to Dan B. The Guardians for Dustin L. The Rockies for Joe W. 1, 2, 3 in a row it looks like here for Dustin. We got the Tigers, the Astros, and the KC Royals going to Dustin. Angels, Mike T. Dodgers, Dustin L. 1, 2, 3 in a row here for Christopher J. Marlins, Brewers, Twins, Christopher J. We got the Mets for Anthony C. We got the Yankees for Aaron F. We got the Oakland A's for Sean K. The Philadelphia Phils, Dustin L. The Pirates, David R. Padres for Dan B. The Giants for Christopher J. Mariners going to Dustin L. Cardinals for Dan B. Tampa Bay Rays for Aaron F. The Rangers going to Michael W. And the last two, which is the Toronto Blue Jays and the Washington Nationals, both belong to Dan B. All right, guys, thanks for getting it filled up. Do appreciate it. Here we go. I have 2 more cases of this stuff on the on my shelf. I'll probably be activating it as soon as we end the session here tonight. I'll put them together. You'll see break number 8 and break number 9 pop up on the website later on tonight. I just didn't have time to do it in the meantime here. So if you like this stuff, 2 more are going to be available. The next case I'm breaking tonight, I think this is going to do it. I think this is going to be the whole shooting match here tonight. Kathy's, in the meantime, before I got into this break, I walked out there and she's looking to start up dinner. She's waiting on me. So I think this is all the time I have on this one tonight. All right, here we go, guys. All cards do ship, of course. Let's find some good stuff here. Last one, printing plate. X-Fractor Auto. Some pretty good stuff in that one for sure. Breaks are nice, dinner is better. Mike, I do agree. Dustin's looking to do more. How long did that? Let me take a quick look, Dustin. I can't say no if you're looking to fill. Let me see. Allen and Ginter last night took me. I mean, that took an hour and 10 minutes to get through. So I just don't think I have the time tonight, unfortunately. I looked at the previous one. I mean, they're an hour long apiece. That being said, maybe I'll do a session on Thursday. I'm going away on Friday. We're going away, so maybe Thursday I could do another session. Tonight, I don't think I have the time. Tomorrow, I got some stuff I want to do around the house before my trip. Thursday could be a reality. How do you guys feel about that? All right, here comes box number 1. Here comes box number 1. Slippery, slippery cards. And look at them, they all fell. I tried my best for them not to fall. All right, here we go. Hold on. Let me get the camera focus. Camera focus. Come on. It's a software app I use to do the focus on the camera, and like sometimes it's completely out of reach. Nick Lodolo, purple. Nick Lodolo, not purple. Suzuki Generation Now. Luke Williams, purple. I don't think I could do it tonight, guys. I don't think I could do it tonight. I know we're hot to go here tonight, but we got a Verlander All-Star. Lucius Fox. Austin Meadows. Ichiro. George Kirby. Are we going to see a first box auto? Maybe. Tiago Estrada. Royce Lewis, purple. Mookie with an all-star. Kimbrel, Dodgers. Cole Sands, Twins with some purple. Jesus Sanchez. We're upside down. We're right side up. Tyler Naquin, we're upside down again. We're right side up again. All right. This game is always fun. She's a pretty good sport. She doesn't get upset over much. Odor. Castillo. There we go. Little Bobby Witt, purple. Nelson Cruz, that's going to be something. What do we got? Numbering the 299. We do indeed. Washington, the 299 for Dan. Stallings, purple. Rodriguez. Suzuki. Peterson. Kluber. Freddie Freeman, purple. There we go. Starting up the Julio train. There's one of them. McClanahan All-Star. Pavetta. Cal Ripken and Apache, purple for the A's. All right, box number 1 down. Only 11 to go. Like I said in that one email, Dustin, by all means, feel free to fill up whatever you want to fill up, and it'll be first up on the next live session. I know you laughed at me when I said that, but, you know, the name of the game, of course, momentum. If guys see numbers drop down to like 2-3 spots in some stuff, it almost inevitably fills up like pretty quickly after that. All right, there's an empty. I know it's more fun in real time than you know, filling it and waiting a day or whatever, but I know it's much more fun the other way. Oh, yeah, well, you know, it's fun. Actually, you know what's funny about that, you say that, is I don't know if you guys have an iPhone or an Android phone. I have a Google Pixel phone, right? And one of the things that Google Pixel phones do is it has like a browser, like a Google homepage, and like based on your browsing history, it'll just throw random suggestions of different like news articles that pop up in and around that type of stuff at you. And yesterday was one about sports card addiction, and some guy was like harping the vice of sports card addiction. I don't know if I'd be able to even find that article, but it just came up on my Google feed yesterday. You saw it, Dustin? Yeah, the same article, I bet. Same article. It was just yesterday. I'm pretty sure that it popped up. I didn't read it. I read like a couple headlines off of it, but the guy said something like, if you think you're going to like get, a return on your money with sports cards, you're not, guys, blah, blah, blah. Like his whole attitude was all like negative against it. But anyway, here we go on the next. Bobby Witt. Google sent it to you as well. Yep. George Kirby. Shane Baz. Stanton All-Star. Miranda. Perez Purple. Suzuki Purple. Shane Baz. Winder. Twins. There's a Wander, not a Winder. Alcantara Purple. Pena with the Generation Now. Martinez. There's another one where they like dropped a 3-pound weight on the card. You can see like the little crackle in the chrome face right there on that Seth Lugo. Fulmer. Winker. All-Star of Contreras. John Gray with the purple. Because he's an idiot. I concur, buddy. I concur. AJ Pollock. Ken Griffey Jr. I remember a video floating around like 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe longer. Some guy talking about, yeah, guys, real easy money-making opportunity to get involved in these days. I interrupt my story to bring up this Danny Young. So Seattle going off to Dustin. Danny Young, rookie auto coming your way, bud. Danny Young. The guy was like basically talking about getting involved in the break scene and how, you could buy something for $300 and sell it for $1,000, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh man, let me tell you, after doing this for nearly a decade, this is like a tough way to make an easy living was like a moniker they used about poker for years. This is the same way. It's not an easy go, for sure. Even when the getting was good, when like profit margins were still good on this stuff, it was still always like super difficult. I mean, you're dealing with a lot of folks. You're dealing with like the ability to get all these spots filled up. Corey Seager purple. Alvarez All-Star. That's why you've seen so many operations on the break side of things come and go over the years. And there you go, buddy. A little Julio purple action. So he is showing up a little bit. All right, next box, 3. Let's do a little pre-slice. I'll forget that I did that, and I'll still... Mike, the sorting did kill me. I did it for years, like even when I first moved out to Vegas, I did it myself for a couple of years, and then Kathy actually like threw her hat in the ring, like, I'll do the sorting. I like that kind of work. I'm like she has a full-time job, of course, like that's not her career, but like, so she does the sorting now for the last, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years, something like that. She doesn't hate it. I don't know how. I hate it. Like, once I handle these cards, I don't want to be handling them again. I'm just like, I'm over it. I handle the envelopes and have to put all the stamps, like, labeling on them and stuff like that, so you do still handle them another time. Just not the cards themselves, the packages with the cards. So, I don't know if you guys know, I mean, I shouldn't. So Jason, Jason's been dealing with some personal stuff in his life for the past, 6-8 months, whatever it is. He's talked about it, so it's not like it's a secret, but he's going through a divorce. And, in the proceedings of this whole thing, like, these attorneys are like, so what's this business you have with sports cards? Like, he's trying to explain what breaks are to a bunch of attorneys, like divorce attorneys, when it comes to like splitting up assets and whatever else. And fucking comical, let me tell you. Still dealing with it. He said to me today that this is still going to be going until like August. She's like keeping it going until August before his whole I said, dude, fucking high-level celebrities didn't even go through that amount of time, splitting up like millions and millions of dollars. Yeah, it's been going for a while now. Again, I don't want to talk about Jay's personal life. That's for him to talk about himself. But he's talked about it several times. He's talked about it several times to you guys. But yeah, fucking August. What? All right. Here we go. I see, guys, look I see a checkerboard pattern right there. X-Fractor. That is what they call them, right? There's one coming up. I see the checkerboard. All right, we got a Solaire Purple. O'Neal Cruz Generation Now. Ramos Purple. Big Willie style. Dansby Swanson All-Star. The IRS would just cry. We got a Renee Pinto. Chris Bassett. Willie Stargell, Paredes. Purple, Spencer Torque. Montero. Grichuk. Arias. Jazz Chisholm, All-Star Refractor. Suzuki Purple. JJ. You were an auditor? Oh. They finally hired like tens of thousands of more people in the IRS this year, right? Like they were operating so deficient of employees for a lot of years. Tommy Romero, Tampa Bay. Nico Goodrum. All right, here it comes. So there it is. Here we go. What's it going to be, fellas? Tony Gonsolin, All-Star. We got a Hunter Green. And here it comes, and it is, how about Reed Detmers? Angels, going off to Mike T. Mike Pizza Man. Reed Detmers, numbered 299, 29 of 99. 29 of 99 for you, Mike. Congrats. 5 corporate sales tax audits. Brad Miller Purple. Pena. Kathy, my fiance's mother, is, a CPA for a lot of years, so I have a little insight into that world through her. I never, what's funny is up until last year, I never used her for my taxes because, I don't know, I just felt like it was like a conflict of interest, like, shoveling over all your financial docs to your future mother-in-law. But last year, she did both our business taxes and my personal stuff, and this year as well. I just got them back from her a couple days ago. Shohei, All-Star. Syndergaard, Purple. Oh, Julio, almost missed him. They did not hire auditors, they hired janitors, data entry, etc. Oh, okay. Joe Morgan and a Luplo, last one in the purples. All right, next box. Oh, I almost forgot I did the pre-slice. Anybody, speaking of Slice, anybody remember Slice Soda Pop? Which was like Pepsi's answer to 7-Up? Or was it Pepsi's answer to Sprite? Because Sprite is a Coca-Cola product, and Slice was Pepsi's answer to Sprite. And to get even more specific, Mandarin Orange Slice. That stuff was good. In the 80s, I think that was. Mike, I'm thinking to myself, if anybody's going to say yes, it's going to be Mike. Mandarin Orange Slice. Yeah, the rich politicians are not hiring auditors. They barely pay a cent in tax. They barely pay 1% in taxes anyway, right? Squirt and vodka or gin. I agree with you on that. Actually, Squirt soda, it's like the grapefruit soda, whatever. That's some good stuff. They even have zero sugar version of it, I think. If you're trying to watch your figure, if you will. But yeah, spiking that up with some booze is not a bad move. There was a couple regional sodas back in Pennsylvania when I was a kid. I don't even know if they exist anymore. Like, Mike, you would remember because you guys are right there. You have the Pennsylvania roots. Wink, I think it was called Wink. Might have been a Crystal Cola soda. I think it was grapefruit soda or like a 50-50. It's like grapefruit and like something else. Yep, 50-50 and Wink were two of them when I was a kid. Yeah. I'm almost positive those were regional to the Northeast. I think they were like New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania specific. Like you wouldn't know of those out here. All right, here we go. Gary Sanchez, Bobby Witt, Generation Now, C.J. Abrams. You know, I see those Jones sodas in the glass bottles in some places, and I always want to get one, and I've never actually purchased one. Ian Happ All-Star Refractor. We got a Pilkington Purple. Odor. Bobby Witt Purple. Nice. Austin Meadows. George Kirby. Suzuki. Jacques Peterson. How about Jacques Peterson again? This time the All-Star Refractor version of it. Corey Kluber. Jones has a bunch of different flavors. Like, they have root beers and everything, right? They're like one of those boutique kind of whatever. Bootlegging and putting below Coke and Pepsi. Yeah, man. I mean, hey, you know, extra points if you know the original name of Pepsi Cola without Googling it. We got a Julio. I know some random information, and that's one of the things I do know. Chase Silseth. How about a Pena Generation Now? Manea Pena. Yeah, it was all the, like, you know, soda fountains in the, like, corner pharmacies where all these soda pops were created. Just like Waco, Texas was what you call it. Waco, Texas was Dr. Pepper. Julio. Bobby Witt. All right, here's our first bit of color. I think we pulled 1 to 299, but here's Matt Duffy in blue to 199. So Angels to 199 for Mike T. Yeah, the original name of Pepsi was called Brad's Drink. I think it was the pharmacist who owned the pharmacy was like Brad. I can't remember what his last name was, but it was called Brad's Drink. Then it became Pepsi Cola. Jacob Stallings. O'Neill Cruz. I also learned something new about Coca-Cola. Oh, no. I think Waco is the birthplace of Dr. Pepper, although Waco is known for the crazy shit that happened in the early 90s, too. But Pete Alonso All-Star. Luke Williams. Trevino. Rod Carew and Lucius Fox. Brad, B-R-A-D, like the you know, guy's name Brad. I can't remember what his last name was. It was Brad something. If you Google it, you'll find a bunch of information, or like even find a bunch of like YouTube videos about it. Yep, Brad's Drink. Oh, I learned. I mean, this is more of a modern tidbit, but you know the Coca-Cola freestyle machines, which are pretty cool. You can like make your own beverage up, like, oh, I want the vanilla version of Barks root beer or the whatever, like all that crazy stuff. That actually started out here in Vegas. I don't know how many years ago. They had that Coca-Cola store right on the south end of the Las Vegas Strip, and that was the first place they put that as like a little test market, and it did really well. People loved it. and then they started producing them in, you know, bigger numbers and putting them in, are they in like Burger Kings and like different fast food places now? Movie theaters. Yeah, they are broken a lot. They are broken a lot. Coca-Cola with real cocaine. Caleb Bradham. Okay, that's the name. So Brad was the last name, a shortened version of his last name. Brad's drink. I also love going down the rabbit hole of watching videos and stuff like that about like the very first like chain restaurant, like the very first Taco Bell or the very first like KFC or whatever it is, and like the history of these like fast food places. Like, it's always like fascinating to see how these massive corporate places started up as like a little shack. The first Pizza Hut was like a little brick shack. Yeah, you were on to something early, Joe. You were on to something early. All right, let's do this thing. Right by you? Yep. I think like they, if I'm not mistaken, that town might actually like Pepsi Corporation put a bunch of money back into the town where Pepsi originally was from, and even have like a retro like redo of the pharmacy where it was once, you know, first created and stuff like that. I think. Michael Pineda. Rowdy Tellez. George Springer. Simmons. Stephen Kwan. Otto in this one. Nestor Cortez. Pena. Josh Lowe. Altuve All-Star. Quintana. Josh Gibson, Odorizzi. I think there was still like a small bottling company in Waco, Texas that was still using the original recipe of Dr. Pepper with the cane sugar and everything up until like recently, I think, within the last like 10 years. Here it is. Here it is. You were correct, buddy. How about a Stephen Kwan? Cleveland. That is going off to Dustin. Cleveland Guardians, which it still feels weird calling them the Cleveland Guardians. There you go, bud. Stephen Kwan auto. For Cleveland, J.P. Sears. Francisco. Mike Schmidt. Kenley. That went flying out of there. Reed Detmer's base. Eduardo. Marcus Stroman. Mike Trout All-Star Refractor. Ref Snyder. Kirby and a Marte Purple for the Mets finishes that one off. Tony, what's happening, buddy? Tony in the house. Tony, I've got your 2 boxes of the Onyx here as well. I'll do them after this break. The basketball. That's empty. Oh, and I don't even have these up for sale on the website. Hold on one sec. I don't have these up on the website for sale at all, but these guys are available if you guys want them. I think they come out officially tomorrow. I got them today, shipped here. 2 boxes of Contenders Hobby Football. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes of the new Court Kings as well. So I don't know. If you guys want any of those, we can do a direct Venmo or something like that. Why let PayPal make 3% off of it, right? Just let me know if you guys want them. I'll look at the prices and see where we got them for and see what we can let them go for, blah, blah, blah. Ship them to you sealed. I can't open them on camera tonight because they don't officially, I think, come out until tomorrow. So well, that Diego Castillo right there is facing the opposite way. I don't know if that means anything. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to open them tonight. But, yeah, I have Cash App. I have Cash App personally. We generally try to like stay away from that. We have Zelle with SBB. If you do Zelle, that's the easiest for us on the business side of it. But if you didn't have that, I can take it in personally myself and just swoop it over to SBB. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to break them tonight like Dustin's saying. Is Topps or Panini going to yell? They would yell. They would probably threaten us to never like sell to us again if I opened it up on camera. But they have big time restrictions on early releases and all that stuff. But by the time it gets to the intended recipient, of course, it's going to be after the release day. This box will get us to the halfway mark, which we're at, what, 32 minutes in so far. How many autos left, Joe? Out of what, 5 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus this box makes 7. How many autos? 3 more autos? 4 more autos? I wish I could say I can. Well, I do concur with that, of course, Dustin, but got to play by their rules if we want to keep seeing product come in the door, right? Josh Harrison, purple. Acuna Jr., Royce Lewis. Jake Walsh. Shohei with an all-star. Pujols, purple. 4. Joe's calling out 4. Nelson Cruz. George Brett. Severino. Royce Lewis, Chris Archer. Lodolo. Spencer, purple. Spencer, not purple. Ethan Roberts. Jacob deGrom. Male, purple. Stephen Kwan just pulled his auto a minute ago. Acuna Jr., All-Star. Adam Frazier, purple. Sonny Gray, that's going to be $2.99. Sonny Gray for the Twins. Dustin May. Ramos. All right, here comes the upside-down card. I don't know if it's anything. If it's just them, like, screwing up, or I don't know. You tell me. Is this anything? I mean, other than the fact that it has a crease in the top of it. Diego Castillo. It was flipped completely upside down in the stack. If that means a darn thing, I don't know. I'll put it to the side and let you guys tell me. Suzuki Castellanos. It's nothing. Just flipped for no reason. Arenado All-Star. Rojas. Jarren Duran. Teddy Williams. And Sonny Gray. Nothing at all? All right. Rip that sucker. No, I'm not going to rip it up, but I'm going to put it in my base pile. All right, we're halfway there. Oh, I've already sliced him. I used a really sharp printing plate. No, I kid. So apparently, Dustin, I don't know if you... Mike, what's happening, buddy? Mike in the house. So, Dustin, apparently at that Topps Industry Summit that took place, like, whatever, 3 weeks ago, something like that, we, got word from the distributors that even though the deal from Fanatics to buy Panini was dead for the moment, I guess they were still talking about it, like it's definitely going to happen at some future point. Like, Panini, for sure, is going to be under the wing of Fanatics at some point in the not-so-distant future. I'm sure you probably already know that. Right? Yeah, guess so, right? Panini with logos. Mike, yeah. Panini with logos. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they'll still keep their non-licensed, whatever baseball content alive because they could double dip on both sides. I mean, but I guess it makes sense that they would have the ability to put the MLB logos then, right? Although if they did that, it would kind of dilute the overall impact of like Topps baseball, wouldn't you say? I don't know. Here we go. Stroman, Palante, Vladdy Jr. generation now. Urias, Batista. There you go, man. Nice. The refractor version, the All-Star of Julio again. Maybe they can get the redemption redeemed. Not likely, Mike. Not likely. They've given up on those. You're left out in the. You're just left in the lark on that stuff. Stephen Kwan again, purple. Joe Ryan. Connor Joe. Schwarber All-Star. The NBA kicked him out of ownership because he could bypass the cap with sports cards. Interesting. Nick Allen, purple. Rich Hill. Seaver, there you go. Wander again. Purple. Matt Olson, purple. Matt Brash. Mackenzie Gore, Bobby Witt, purple. All right, keeping it going. And guess what? How about a JP Sears coming up here? Very nice. New York. Going off to Aaron. JP Sears. Nice one, Aaron. Congrats, buddy. Yankees getting some ink. Nick Plummer, purple. Ramirez, All-Star. Doolittle, purple. Detmers, purple. Correa, purple. Spencer generation now. Sawinski, purple. Taylor Walls, purple. Harper, All-Star. Thomas. Lorenzen. Mathewson and MJ Melendez, Kansas City, purple. All right, let's keep going. You know what's funny? I just saw a video suggested to me a couple days ago on YouTube where it's talking about Ben Simmons' career basically being kaput, right? And I'm thinking to myself, when I first moved out to Vegas, which was 2017, that was his rookie year. And like basketball cards as a whole went down in the shitter big time because he was like the only real hot rookie that year And he was exclusively signed with, was it Upper Deck, right? So like any of the products that we can get our hands on, which was all Panini stuff, and they were all the big marquee basketball products, he was nowhere to be found. He was like parallels and stuff like that, but no autos of him. Fast forward 6 years, and that's it. Yeah, that 2016-17 basketball product, man, oh man, we got hammered on that stuff. You could not sell that. You couldn't give that product away. And we were selling a pretty good rate of basketball at the time. Like, basketball was flying off the shelf. We had a bunch of guys in New Zealand and Asian buyers that were buying into our basketball breaks like crazy. Big market over there for basketball cards. And Dustin. Yep. Actually, even like guys that didn't like buy basketball on the regular were even buying basketball in those like earlier years. Like the Wiggins year when he was a rookie. Shit. I mean, he was selling for, that team was selling for $300 like in some stuff. Then once it finally got to the Zion year, like, it just got so out of control that, like, it became out of the range of everybody. So, like, that's why basketball breaks and us have, like, gone by the wayside, because choose your team style basketball is so expensive that it's like, you can't sell it. You can't sell it. Sliding off. You can't sell it as choose team. You certainly can sell it as other style breaks, but like choose team doesn't work for us. Or the only thing that doesn't work for us to sell is choose team, and you can't sell that stuff as choose team because the prices are like just cost prohibitive. All right, here we go. 25 teams to fill. Yes, I do remember some of those. All right, Zach Greinke. There you go. Julio Generation Now. Nice. Fleer just released Ultra Fleer Marvel Avenger cards. Really? Marvel Avenger. Got a Tapia Purple. Miggy All-Star. Kevin Smith. McCutcheon Purple. Mike Trout. Martin Perez. Logan Webb, Julio, Bradish, Miranda, Xander, Pena, Upper Deck and Fleer. I mean, the thing about Upper Deck, too, is, like, unless you've got a storefront, you can't even get that product other than buying it retail. Bobby Witt. Bo Bichette. Pena Purple. Aaron Judge. Seth Lugo. And here we go, Chris Bassett. That's going to be numbered to 250 for the Mets. Profar. CJ Garcia. Schwarber. Manny Machado All-Star. Chris Paddock Purple. Suzuki. Romo. And Jose Iglesias. Last one in that stack. All right. Next box. Then they say you can only make 10% off boxes like the others. So yeah, how do you get ahead in that game? Selling $1 million of product a month is like, I mean, massive volume just to try to make a buck kind of thing. All right. It's probably the best move. That way you're probably not restricted by some of that nonsense, right? I'm still blown away that Topps granted you that account and then like basically tried to sell to you at full retail, or like whatever you said, try to make you a franchisee or whatever. Like, our one distributor recently was saying to us, you guys should really talk to Topps and finally get a direct account. And I'm like, it doesn't make any sense for us to get a direct account. Like, even if we had it, like it doesn't feel like there's any upside to it. And now that you tell me what you told me, feels pretty true. Another upside down, random upside down card of Jake Walsh. That's a second box that's had one single random upside down card in it. We'll see it in a minute. All right, next box. We're going to have 3 left after this. Joe, I haven't been keeping up with, you said 4 autos remaining, I think 1 auto to go, right? So potentially still 3 autos to be pulled. Pena. Julio. Just rattling off these dudes' names. That's it. Brujan. Soto with an all-star. Roberto Perez. Muzziotti. Bobby Witt. Here comes some green. Is it green with ink? It is not. It is Alek Thomas for the D-backs going to Sean K. And that's got some numbering for you, buddy, to 75. Nice. I thought I saw blue coming up here as well. Maybe it was just that generation now. I was catching the little corner of it there. Shane Baz on that one. Marte All-Star. It's not a bad idea. I mean, it seems like it is a lot of work to put together those packs. I know, like, Rich Layton was doing it with his, what did he call it? The Layton Anthology series or something like that. For like years he was doing that. There's whole operations that make their entire business out of that. Like Super Break and all that stuff, right? So here's the one that was flipped. Jake Walsh. Jake Walsh. Again, I don't know if it's anything, so I'll put it there for just a minute. I think it's probably nothing. Spencer with a purple. Pena with a purple. And there it is. We got another one. How about the Cubbies coming in here? Cubbies, Ethan Roberts. And that is, Dustin, that's one of you, buddy. That is one of you. Ethan Roberts, rookie auto coming your way. I mean, I'm old, right? But that dude looks about like 16. Other than the tats on his arms, but he looks young. Richie Palacios. When we were out to the National, one time only when it was in Chicago, not this last July, but the one before that. So like a good year and a half ago, whatever. Coming up on 2 years ago. You know, Jason knows Rich Layton personally. He hung out with him a couple times, even when like Layton first got into the business, going back, shit, I don't know, 2014, 15, whatever it was, 15 probably. And, you know, Layton's there with his whole, like, he's got a whole crew with him at his booth. And there we go, Julio Purple, nice one. You know, they're buying cards like crazy. Like, they have a whole separate section buying cards, I think, really to fill up their anthology stuff, you know, just to keep building up the inventory for all those. Wander Generation Now. We sold them some. We sold them some cards at the show, at that very show. Bryson Stott, Purple. I mean, he had a lot of guys with him. A lot of guys. He had one guy just sitting there. Basically, all he was doing is looking at the card, looking at 130point.com for the comps to see what the card sells for. And if the card sold for, say, $300, like, you know, offering you, like, 160 or something. Like, Satchel Paige and William Woods. Is that like an ink run? It kind of looks like it. I mean, it's just a standard purple, but that looks like some kind of ink run on the red piping around the card. Interesting. All right, next up. Oh, they were nice enough dudes. They were fine. I mean, obviously they're there to make money. They need to they need to lowball you and try to make as much as they can, right? Get it for as low price as they can. Can't wish them any ill will on that, but who else did we meet up with out there? We met up with I think his name is it Chris from Top Shelf Breaks. Always been friendly with that guy. Met up with the CSG crew. Actually, that's where we signed up our account initially to become like a grading partner or whatever with CSG. Dustin, I mean, their operation is sizable. Their operation is big. They got multiple full-time people on staff. I want to say at that booth alone, they probably had at least 7 or 8 guys working it. In addition to Rich and I think his wife as well. I remember seeing like job postings from them, like full-time sorting employees and this and that, like. Yep. We did not go to the National last year. We didn't, I don't think we're going this year coming up. It was kind of worthless for us. Like, we're not there drumming up business. Spending all that money on travel and whatever. It's better spent elsewhere inside the business, I guess. Is that right, Joe? That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, here we go. Cole Sands, Purple. Pinto, Mackenzie Gore, Jesus Sanchez. Mackenzie Gore, Purple again. We got a Corbin Burns. Hunter Green. Brendan Donovan, Purple. Owen Miller. Joe Perez. Oop, sliding. Suzuki, Purple. Corey Seager with an all-star. Mackenzie Gore, Purple. Corey Seager, Purple again. remember like the biggest operation out there for the longest time was Mojo. And then kind of Leighton, I feel like, overtook him. I have no idea who the biggest operation out there is now. I don't follow it. I should know it, considering I'm in the business, but just changes. Like, the whole... And here comes another, and it is an auto. Very nice. Josh Winder for the Twins, and that's going to be going to Christopher J. There you go, Christopher. Congrats, congrats. Numbering to 125, 115 of 125. So, Joe, what are we left? 2 autos? Congrats, Christopher. Nice hit. Scherzer. Alejandro with an all-star. What I was starting to say was then the whole, like, whatnot stuff started happening, and some of these guys like Backyard and all that, although they've had some controversy, became like really huge, and who knows, man. Is that right? How so? O'Neal Cruz, Vladdy Jr., Trevor Story, Josh Winder, Bobby Witt, George Kirby, Shane Baz, Mel Ott, and Jose Miranda. Yeah, I don't follow much of what goes on in the industry. Like I said, I should. I just don't. It's not a friendly industry. Maybe on the single side and selling cards individually, but like on the break side, it's not a friendly industry. Like, guys that run break operations, like, if they've been in the game longer than you or what have you, they're not friendly enough to try to lend a hand or help an up-and-comer. Obviously, you're their competition, but, like, I don't know, man. I've been in other businesses where it just wasn't like that. Like, people helped out people, and it was a nice community. Not the case so much. I mean, maybe we just never partnered up with the right people in the break side of things, but anybody we ever have hasn't been super friendly toward us, so whatever. Is what it is. We just keep our head down, do our thing. I have one friend out here locally that I'm, good buddies with. Actually, personally, we've gone out to dinner with he and his wife. They've had us over to their house for dinner. He runs a breaking operation. Mostly, his entire market is generated through eBay. KO's Card Breaks, which is John Turner. Is the guy that owns it. Nice guy. Former, I guess current also, professional poker player. It was a big deal. He had a pretty sizable name for himself online when the online poker boom was really happening. He was an author of some poker books and everything. Went by the name Pearl Jammer back in the day with online poker. Funny, poker and professional poker and cards and the card breaks in general have a pretty big tie-in together. So John Turner is one of them, of course. The guys that own Legacy Sports Cards now are the same guys that, the Blesnick brothers, Jared Blesnick and Scott, and big connections in the professional poker world. I think Tom Marchese's part owner of that shop over there, which he's also, big-time professional poker player with big resume. Austin Riley. Nico. Hunter Green. Chris Bassett. There you go, buddy. Generation Now of Julio. Paredes. Joey Wentz. Pujols, All-Star. Yeah, we're very much the same way. We just do our own thing. We've established a decent customer base over the years. We market to those customers, and that's that, you know. Syndergaard. Kreisen. Spencer Torque. Julio Purple, nice. Same here, buddy. Like, nobody's... How about a Wander? Alcantara. Clayton Kershaw, All-Star. Nice. What do we got? Eduardo Rodriguez for the Tigers. That's going to be numbered to 250. Yeah, we just, you know, I don't know. We just do our thing. I would rather be lower profile than higher profile. But, you know, after all these years, I know that you're doing that, you know? So, like, Jason gets a little testy sometimes, but, you know, that's Jason. That's who he is. All right, Frank Thomas and Renee Pinto for Tampa Bay, last one. All right, guys, one box left. Joe said one more auto, right? Let's see if Joe's prediction is correct yet again. All right, that is empty. He's you know, Jason's an interesting personality if you don't know him very well. He'll even be the first to say it about himself. Even if you do know him very well. Sometimes, you know. All right, if they're giving us one more auto, let's make it a crazy one. Started out, nobody was talking at all, and as the night progressed here, we've all become like a sewing circle of gossip going on here. I love it. Keeps me going. I wouldn't say gossip. Nobody's talking gossip, but just shooting the shit. Dustin drank some beers. There you go, buddy. That'll do it. That'll loosen you up. Get you chit-chatting. All right, here we go. JJ with a purple. Tatis Generation Now Clevenger purple. Matt Brash. Devers All-Star. Bobby Witt purple. Nick Plummer purple. Frank Robinson, Doolittle. Bryce Elder, purple. Wander, Generation Now. Stephen Kwan, purple. Joe DeNano, purple. Nestor Cortez, All-Star. I can't do it, man. I need some food and just got stuff I got to do. Taylor Walls, Tampa Bay. Ozzie Smith, Alec Thomas. There's another Julio. Every time you see one, just a little bit back coming in toward that purchase price, right? Luplo. And here it is, buddy. You were right on. It's another rookie auto. William Woods for the Braves. Dan B getting this one. William Woods, Atlanta Braves. Rookie auto. Congrats to Dan. So, Joe, your number was spot on again. They haven't done us dirty on, on average. How about a Vladdy Jr. with the All-Star? Grichuk. Like I said before, though, Dustin, I'll tell you this. Like, I wasn't really anticipating doing a session on Thursday, but if by chance, just saying, if by chance that, we got a Suzuki purple right there, one of those Allen and Ginters, or both of those Allen and Ginters, like, fill up by Thursday, I'll come on live and do another session on Thursday and break one or more of them. Just throwing it out there. No pressure. I know you like to see it go in real time, but Freddie Freeman All-Star. Batista purple. Buster Posey and Josh Donaldson is the last card in the whole thing with a purple for New York. Guys, that's going to do it. These will ship out of the next batch leaving Vegas probably early part of next week. I don't think we'll have time to sort through them later on this week. We are going away for a couple days, but thank you again, guys. Appreciate you filling that up.